Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are prime examples of the modern-day toxic relationship. If you've been keeping up with this court case, it is no surprise that Amber is damn crazy and Johnny is a victim in this relationship dynamic. However, we have to be honest and take this L as men because Johnny also contributed to his demise, and to put the blame solely on Amber is to be hypocrites as men. This trial is an excellent example of what not to do in a relationship with a woman, so let's dive into it. We have to acknowledge that Johnny Depp effed up by committing to her and then marrying her after seeing all the red flags. It is impossible to know someone for years without seeing at least one red flag. It's literally impossible. No matter how good of an actor and manipulator someone like Amber is, there will be an instant in the relationship where she would have shown glimpses of who she is behind that mask and facade she puts up. The problem with men is once the girl has a pretty face, great body, flawless skin, and sex appeal, the logic goes right out the window. This one thing has led countless men to the slaughter when dealing with women. You see men who ignore red flags because their little heads have taken over, or they are so infatuated with the woman that they purposefully ignore the red flags deserve everything they get. Every man has a built-in mechanism to identify and spot red flags called the gut feeling. I don't want to hear, but what if he doesn't know about female nature and red flags? Because every man has had a gut feeling when something is wrong or is about to go wrong. And the sad reality is most men ignore their gut feeling, and that is why he got bent over by his woman. Identifying red flags early on is one thing, but how are you supposed to deal with them? In the RP space, you must have heard about holding masculine frame. If you haven't, the idea behind it is to learn how to handle a woman's test by standing your ground and being non-emotional in dealing with the situation. That's basically what holding masculine frame is. The problem with holding masculine frame in a relationship is you are just putting up with her abuse. Let me repeat that. Holding masculine frame is putting up with a woman's abuse. You should handle abusive people by walking away and cutting them out of your life permanently. But men seem to find it hard to do when dealing with a hot chick, and I understand what you're going through. You either don't want to leave your girl or believe you can work things out. So the next best option is to hold masculine frame. Well, the problem with holding masculine frame is you'll have to put up with weeks, months, and years of abuse. And one day, you'll snap, and then she got you. Then all she has to do is bring you to court, and it's game over. Now try holding masculine frame with the police and the judge and see what happens to you. So I say this to point out that if you're in a situation where the woman you're with is verbally or physically abusive, then run. Run away from that woman as fast as you can because the courts favor the woman in America. Amber knew that she could get away with abusing Depp, and she even admits that if he went to the court, the judge would be more likely to side with her because she's a woman. So if you believe that she's not going to abuse that power. Now let's put it back to you holding masculine frame guys. What will you do when you're in court as the victim and she's lying and making you out to be the bad guy? Holding masculine frame isn't going to help because in America, she is innocent until proven guilty, and you're guilty until proven innocent. The sad part is that even if she is proven guilty, she is likely to only get a slap on the wrist, and that's it. You'd be thrown in jail if you were ever to pull off what Amber did. So if you're ever in a relationship and start seeing the red flags and toxic behavior, then run for the hills and never look back, because if you don't do this and you marry her, it's game over for you. And with that, let's look at the marriage between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Based on what I've heard, no pun intended, it was a toxic relationship to say the least. We had people defecating on beds, fingers sliced off, physical, emotional, verbal abuse, etc. I mean, what more signs were Johnny looking for to run? Oh, I forgot he married the psychopath, so he's stuck. This is what men living in this matrix do. They marry someone in hopes that things will be great after giving their commitment and financial future to a woman. Men, this is why I started this message by acknowledging red flags and knowing when to walk away. If Johnny had walked away when he felt in his gut that she was not for him, none of this would have happened. But he didn't, and now look at him and what he had to go through. I'm not saying that he was perfect. He allegedly did drugs which would have contributed to some of his relationship problems, but if he had just walked away, none of this would have happened. I want you to really think about that long and hard. He married this woman without a prenup, which is dumb. Guys, if you're getting married, you better get a prenup because marriage isn't about love. It's a business where automatically she has the upper hand as soon as you sign the marriage certificate and the ink dries on the paper. And if the marriage was left for whatever reason, there are systems to bleed you dry and transfer your wealth to her and the family court lawyers. So essentially, marriage is a one-sided business partnership where the woman has to gain from divorcing your goofy, but while you take the L. If you go homeless in the process, nobody cares. Just pay up. Anyways, back to Depp. Apparently, after the fogs in his eyes started to clear when he saw the type of woman he married, he wanted a postnup to protect his assets. And for you guys who have no clue what a postnuptial agreement is, I'll give you the definition. A postnuptial agreement is a contract created by spouses after entering into a marriage that outlines the ownership of financial assets in the event of a divorce. The contract can also set out the responsibilities surrounding any children or other obligations for the duration of the marriage. A postnuptial agreement is also known as a postmarital agreement or postnup. It may be contrasted with a prenuptial agreement signed prior to marriage. Here's where Johnny went wrong, and for you goofy hope strategists, this is to save your butt if you marry a chameleon like Amber. You never want to marry a woman, then ask for a postnup after the fact. If you do this, you're an idiot. I'm sorry to tell you at that point, you deserve everything that comes your way. Do you guys think that women have your best interest at heart? No, they don't. Women have their best interest at heart, not yours, period. So if you're going to get married, the intelligent thing to do is get a prenup. And for you guys living under a rock, and you have no clue what a prenup is, I'll give you the definition. A prenuptial agreement is a type of contract created by two people before entering into marriage. This contract could outline each party's responsibilities and property rights for the duration of the marriage. More commonly, prenuptial agreements outline terms and conditions associated with dividing up financial assets and responsibilities. If the marriage dissolves. Prenups sound fantastic if you ask me. Yet millions of men in America and worldwide choose to marry a woman without a prenup every year. You play stupid games and win stupid prizes, so I have no sympathy if you go into marriage without any protection. That's on you, Mr. It's about love. She would never do that. If you are that type of guy, Lord have mercy on your soul. However, an ironclad prenup won't always protect you from losing money 100%. Your spouse can contest a prenup if she believes she is entitled to what you have, which can cost you tens of thousands to millions of dollars depending on how rich you are. So never get comfortable with a prenup. It can protect you from bleeding money, but the best protection from women is never to get legally married to a woman or be a common law spouse. There are more lessons in this, but I'm not a lawyer, and I can't give the in-depth legalities of the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. But if you follow all that I stated, you will have a more favorable outcome when dealing with a toxic woman like Amber. But let's say you either didn't listen to this message and you find yourself caught up in a similar situation like Depp, or you found this channel too late and fell for the okie doke. This is what you can do to escape your toxic relationship or marriage. Number 1, you should have listened to your gut like I stated and walked away before it even reached marriage. If you hadn't committed and ran for the hills, you wouldn't have been in court looking sick, making the lawyers and judges rich. But you didn't, and that's your fault, so take the L and listen to my other options. Number 2, keep a record of every toxic interaction you have with this Jazzibel. Put hidden cameras all over the house and ensure that you have the footage backed up on a hard drive and in the cloud. Also, get multiple voice recorders and place them in your bedroom and other places where she pops off at the mouth. If Johnny were a complete idiot and didn't record her when she was acting up, he would have been thrown in the gulag long ago. Lastly, keep a copy of all your text messages and record her when she instigates the arguments with your phone. This strategy right here will save you from false allegations. Number 3, tap that like button for me. I mean, plan your exit strategy. If you followed step 2 and got evidence without her finding the cameras or voice recorders, it's time to strike before she does. The first thing you should do is hire a private investigator to see if she's also cheating, her domestic violence past, or if she's stealing money from you. Doing this will build a strong case that you are a victim in the relationship. Make sure you act normal and don't give her any sign that you plan to leave her. Get as much evidence as possible, then it's time for the final step. Number 4, hire a lawyer and find out your best options for divorce and file for divorce before she catches on to you or strikes first. Getting a good lawyer and filing for divorce is the most crucial step. You must pull the trigger. If you don't divorce her, then prepare to suffer the consequences of your inability to take action. Your lawyer will tell you what you have to lose and the steps you must take to have the upper hand in the divorce. Follow your lawyer's lead and prepare to fight and get torn to shreds. But leaving will be the best thing you will ever do. Comment below your thoughts on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, and don't forget that prevention is always better than cure. Most men are too scared to leave a bad situation because of what they stand to lose. But remember this, if you don't divorce her, she will divorce you and have the power to drag out the divorce as long as possible. That's what you don't want. You can either settle in your divorce or prepare to fight. The choice is yours.